Hands are not for hitting. I don't feel okay.
So this video clip is less than 5 seconds. And as a child development specialist, I feel like almost every second tells a story for me. I'm gonna break it down for you so you can see the difference in the process with responsive parenting. But before I do that, I want all the parents out there to know that if this is how you respond to your toddler's aggression, it's okay. You haven't done anything wrong. This is not a harmful approach, minus the camera in their face, but I'm definitely going to discuss that. The way the parent responds to the behavior is what I envision ChatGPT would tell you to do if you asked, what do I do when my toddler hits? And what I'm going to do is break down what's going on for the child and tell you how I would respond instead. I covered the child's eyes because really the biggest problem with this video is that it exists. But let's try to hide the child's identity and learn from their experience. The first moment, the child opens a door. She came to her mother. She was seeking connection, comfort, co-regulation. That's what I see in her body language. Her mouth is open. She's crying. Maybe not tears crying, but crying out as a child does. And her little cheeks are beet red. Her arms are down. The one arm is down. It's not in an aggressive stance. That hand is not an aggressive hand at that moment. And she's almost in a reaching out position, or as though that hand might reach out in a minute. She appears to be very dysregulated, and seeking comfort. That's what I see in this clip. So in clip 2, she notices her mother's filming and her demeanor instantly changes. She becomes furious, likely from embarrassment, I think, and she lunges towards her mother. And as she is squeezing her mother's arm, her mother says, "Hands aren't for hitting," right? Well, she's not hitting. But what does she do next? So what does she do in clip 3? She gives her mom a couple whacks. Like, great idea, Mom. Hands can be for hitting. In clip 4, Mom finally lifts one arm up to protect herself, but she still is filming. Clip 5, things take a pretty drastic turn. Child thinks this will get her attention and throws a chair at her. She finally stops filming her child being dysregulated at that moment. We're going to go all the way back to clip 1. So here was Mom's chance to connect, right? Because I think the filming is what set the child off. They felt exploited and embarrassed, likely. They were already upset, and likely seeing that camera just set her off. She was coming for attachment. She was coming for connection, co-regulation. She saw that camera, and my guess is this is not the first time she's been filmed while upset. And I think she had a normal human reaction, how anybody would feel. Imagine that you were upset with your spouse or your partner or something, and you come in the room to try and work it out, and they've got their camera on you. It would be incredibly embarrassing and hurtful. So I think that's what the child was experiencing. So as the child is coming towards her, it's clear from her expression and her body language, those little hands there, that she might hurt the mom. If the mom had put down the phone and blocked the squeeze, or even better, open up her arms to offer a hug instead, things may have gone very differently. And so I think it's really important to show that the big thing is the phone. The other thing that I was thinking while looking at this is it's such a good example of a parent who is calm but not connected, right? This mom is completely calm. She's not dysregulated at all. but she's not connecting with her child, and therefore the co-regulation is not working. This is not co-regulation. She's instead going with correction. And the phone being there just escalates things incredibly. But let's pretend it's a coffee, or let's pretend she's not filming her. She's, playing a game on her phone or something. The idea is her focus is not completely on the child at the moment, and the child knows that they need that. And so they're just going to keep escalating their behavior until they get that need met, which is co-regulation. So what would I do instead? So these are my 3 tips. If your child seems to be dysregulated like this little girl, and I think that the mom knew that beforehand, she may have gone outside to get some fresh air to try and regulate herself, and it does seem to be working, although she might be a bit numb. So my 3 tips are: put down the distractions such as phone or coffee or book or TV or whatever, and try and focus entire housework. I think a lot of us are doing housework while our children are dysregulated, and there is a time and place where that works, but this little one needed 100% at that moment. So put down the distractions such as phones. Offer comfort. I did not see her offer comfort before she told her not to hit her. And also, if comfort is not wanted, you're just going to stay close by. It seems this mom left, so she left the child alone while she was upset, which is fine if you need to. But if you are regulated, like this mom appears to be, stay close by and protect yourself, either with your own body, like your arm, or if you have to, like a cushion or a pillow or something. Ah, yes, the chair. So this chair being chucked likely upsets a lot of people. Guess what? I know that if it was me in that situation and I wasn't trying to film my child attack me, I would have caught that chair before they could hit me with it. I think one mistake a lot of parents make is assuming like, my child would never hit me with a chair. And they're looking at it like an older child or adult hitting someone with a chair, and it's not. Toddlers do not have a moral compass or impulse control or even like a firm grasp on empathy. Now people will ask, how do we prevent them from becoming chair-throwing teenagers? Because they do exist. And the answer is this right here. We make sure when they do try to throw chairs as toddlers, we don't play victim. We grab the chair before they can hit us with it. When a toddler's aggression is not successful, they eventually give up on it and learn how to verbalize their feelings, which strangely tends to upset parents too. So I do have a workshop session as part of the toddler workshop series, all about when toddlers hurt people and what you can do about it. It's just a video. You can watch it at any time. It's under an hour and it's under $10. So I've made it really easy for you. Just go to the link in my bio, look under store, and you should be able to find this or the entire workshop series, whatever works for you.